Beautiful Friday morning here in Lagos. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Let's talk about the Japa syndrome. You know, immigration is an age-long tradition that is very much part of human culture. You even see it in animals migrating. But the issue in Nigeria, the dimension has taken a worrisome one. In 2021, for instance, the World Bank had said 50% of Nigerian youths want to leave the country. But in 2021, a report by the African Polling Institute said that 7 out of 10 Nigerians will be willing to go abroad if they had the resources. And the number of skilled work and study visas that the UK alone gave has increased by 210% between 2019 and 2021. That's from 19,000 to a whooping 59,000. Personally, I can't count the number of people in my space, friends and acquaintances that have relocated from Nigeria. More than often, you see WhatsApp statuses of people selling their properties. You can tell that they are on their way out. So sometimes it feels like a mini rapture. Someone that you see often in your area or at your workplace, you just do not see them again, and then you find out that they have left the country. There's also the way folks keep these things very secret, close to their heart, you know. They don't tell you. A friend just calls you up and say, "Hi, guy, I'm in Canada." We'll talk about whether your friend owes you that information sometime later. But before now, the news used to be that some young people are being taken advantage of through human trafficking. They take them through the desert and the Mediterranean Sea to Europe. But right now, more privileged Nigerians are joining the trend. The narrative is fast changing. The middle class, people who are gainfully employed. Some people spend as much as 20 million naira to relocate their families out of this country. So those are not poor people. Those are young, upwardly mobile, middle-class Nigerians on whose shoulders we should have built this country. We're talking about what politicians are going to do about it, particularly the APC, because we're hearing that the presidential candidate has vowed to put an end to the Japa syndrome. We'll find out how he intends to do it and if there's a track record of that from his leadership in the past. Ayobami Oyalowo is a member of the Public Affairs Committee of the APC Presidential Council and is my guest this morning. He joins us live from our Abuja studio. Mr. Oyalowo, let's begin with some background story to this. What do you make of what appears to be a surge in relocation, particularly among young Nigerians these days?
Well, good morning. Clearly, we have been hearing about the Japa syndrome, like you rightly posited in your introductory narrative. However, I think there must be context to everything. Probably because we are in a wave or in a situation where there is a lot of information, it appears that the Japa thing looks big, but I was studying the statistics recently from all the countries that people are traveling, relocating to places like Canada, UK, and US. Nigeria happens to be number 13 on the list. We're not even number 1. We're not even in the first 10. But the thing about us is that we have a way of making so much noise about stuff than others do. Nepalese, Indians, Bangladeshi, Pakistani, even Chinese happens to be far ahead of us in terms of the number of people who are relocating from their countries to other places. However, the noise about Nigeria and Japa, you will think it's only in Nigeria. It's a worldwide phenomenon. And if you have been following history, in the 80s, we had the same phenomenon. And I know many people must have heard the word Andrew. Andrew. It is not new. It happened at that time. So the organization that was saddled with informing Nigerians and orientating Nigerians came up with that. Andrew, Nigeria is our country. We have no other place. Let us stay and salvage it together. I'm sure many people who are maybe their mid-40s upward will remember the phenomenon of the Andrew. And also, if you also remember, in that same period in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, a lot of our medical doctors then moved to Saudi Arabia. Many of them came back later on. Clearly, I think we like to make everything about ourselves, and it is not really the reality. Yes, people are living in numbers. I will not downplay that. But like I rightly said, we are not top 10 in terms of Japa syndrome. The other people who are ahead of us do not make the kind of noise we make about it. And then when they leave, they are not derogatory. I have been opportune to go to some countries, and you find out that for one Nigeria, you will find in this place, you will find 10 Indians, you will find 15 Bangladeshi, you will find 12 Pakistanis. These guys are relocating in numbers. However, the difference between them and us is they don't make as much noise as we make. Secondly, they are more, how do I put it now? They have the love of their country more. If you look at Indians, they went to the United Kingdom in large numbers at the time, learned the tricks and the ways of their medical profession. And today, India has become like a destination for Nigerians to seek for medical aid. So people live for different reasons. However, the context must be put to it. I am sure in the course of this our discussion, I'll be able to put some context and clear some misinformation, and then also help to widen and broaden the discussion. That's my hope and belief during this discussion.
Have made light what many would call the exodus of young Nigerians. You're talking about the patriotism. Some would say, what's there to love? There are two reasons why Nigerians are leaving this country: bad economy, insecurity, occasioned by corruption. Those are the main things that the current administrations campaigned on. I read out the figures earlier, so I understand your comparative analysis with other countries, but there is a track record to show that there's over 200% increment in the number of people who are leaving this country every day. Do you consider it an indictment on the APC government?
Like I told you earlier on, it's easy to blame somebody or blame a government. But like I also told you, do you want to blame the government of those other countries where we are not even top 10? No, I said people leave for several reasons. At times, many of our people just leave because their friends have left and they think it is the right thing to do. So because somebody has left, I too must leave. Because my friends have left, I must also leave. Because my colleagues are leaving, I must also leave. We are already seeing stories of people who left without adequate planning, and a lot of challenges they're experiencing challenges. Just yesterday, I saw a video of a huge number of Nigerians being deported back from Dubai. We also have heard of news, and we've seen it, of a huge number of them being brought back from all manner of places due to, you see, if you say Nigeria is not good, if you say things are not working, the question you want to also ask, what have been the contribution of the people? It's always easier to blame the third party. It's always easy to blame the government. But if you want to travel out of the country, it costs you minimum of, let's say, 10 million naira. So if you have 10 million, things are not really as bad for you as it were for other people. The issue is maybe you are looking for something that you think you will not get here. However, like I said, I am not going to lay blame on the government or the people. I will say everybody have their own reason. But you need to also put a context to this thing. Look at everybody saying Japa, they are leaving. Have you seen the northern Nigerian young people, the educated ones, leaving? I am yet to see them leaving. Even if they left, they are leaving to study, and most of them, they will still come back. There is a problem with us in the south here, and these are issues we must talk about. Everything should not be blamed on just the federal government. We, as a people, must look at how have we laid our bed over the years. Because I have been fortunate to interact with people from the north in Abuja that I have been for a while, and I don't see the northern youth running out of the country. Yet, if we want to look at it critically, probably the insecurity affects them more. So why are you telling me that insecurity is where people are living? People that are left, in the highest number of people that have left, most of them are either from Lagos or thereabout. Are you telling me that Lagos has more insecurity than they have in the north? So we ourselves, when we make comment, we commentators must be very careful, because when you begin to shine a light and try to attack everything that has to be about us, we are not helping our young people. Clearly, like I tell you, check the people living. If not all, a huge number of them are from the south. So are we saying the southern part of Nigeria is more insecure than areas where they have been ravaged by Boko Haram? No. If people want to live, they want to live. You can't tell them not to live. But what I'm saying is that, why are they living? If you say economy is bad, you are able to raise 10 million naira to go and look for jobs, to either work in train station, work in the cold and stuff. So that means life is not as bad for you. You are living for whatever reason you want to live, and nobody can stop you from